On the Duke, man. I'm trying to put Saturday behind me.
How hard is that to do?
It's not hard for me. It's not hard for, we've been trying to, get our kids to understand. I mean, after we watched the video Sunday, and we're on the Duke Sunday night.
What's it been like seeing James really take that next step forward and really seems like the explosiveness is coming back?
He's getting it back. It's real nice. Obviously, he's been able to, the last 4 or 5 games, he's played better and better. And I was worried early on. He wasn't seeing things the way he needs to see them, and he wasn't hitting the hole. I think he was a little cautious with his knee. But slowly and surely, he's getting back to what I remember.
Is there a run or two that something sort of clicked for you of like, okay, he's starting to see?
I can't remember which game it was, but at some point, you knew, the team knew, he knew. I mean, everyone knew this is different than what we've been seeing the first couple of weeks.
Was that last touchdown run he had? I don't know.
Pretty good. We don't have a drill for that. There's no drill. And he just made a good run. I mean, he looked at what he's supposed to look at, and he reacted properly, and that was a free guy. And we're always talking about the guy that we can't block or don't block. When you get to him, you got to make a play, and he did that. So it was a good play.
This time of year, a lot of running backs are slowing down because of all the pounding they took on him 2 years ago. James was hurt going in the last couple of games.
Right.
How is he doing physically?
About like every other back in the country. It's a grind. We practice hard, and so it's all relative.
Relative to
everybody else. The defense, the guys that have been tackling, the same way. So Dukes, they tackle that big old boy from North Carolina Thursday. So they're tired and they're sore, and just like everybody else.
Andre, when he runs like that, what kind of juice does he give to the offense, and how much do they feed?
That's a momentum builder. I mean, if the defense is trying to rally, that throws a wet blanket on that too. I mean, you guys see it, you feel it, and he gets going. He's difficult. He's not fun to tackle.
You guys talked last year before the season about how much more you wanted to get him involved in the passing game. You felt like that was a part of his game that could help him for the next level and everything. Is that coming to fruition this year?
Yeah, I mean, he's got really good ball skills, and he's heavily involved in protection, so he doesn't get out that much into the passing game. We've utilized him more in the play action game, but you can see he had one big drop at home against someone, maybe Marshall. That would have been a big one. But other than that, he's caught every ball thrown to him. In fact, he caught one in the Oklahoma State game that wasn't thrown to him. He jumped up and plucked it. So he's got good ball skills, and any way you can get him the ball, the more times he touches the ball, the better off we are.
Andre, you mentioned on the Duke, their team coming off a pretty big win for them. What have you noticed from them defensively?
Duke is a good defense. I mean, you watch them, and there's nothing cheap. There's no one that gets cut loose in coverage, and if someone's supposed to be in the B gap, they're in the B gap, or they're clawing to get in it. They don't miss tackles in the open field. They get you on the ground. There's not a lot of big plays. I mean, they play hard. They're physical. I mean, they're really good.
You've used less of a rotation at running back the last couple weeks. Is that more of a product of how well James is playing, or
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's hard to take him out of the game when he's doing what he's doing. I rely on him to tell me if he gets tired. I have no problem playing those other guys. But as long as he's playing, I don't see why we ought not give him the ball.
He doesn't tap out, does he?
He does.
Oh,
he does sometimes. Yeah, he does. And sometimes I can look at him and he just gives me eye contact, and we know it's time to come out and get a breather.
You like what you got? You got a couple of good carries out of Darren Hall, it seems like, the last couple of years.
Yeah, Darren played well. He hadn't had the pounding. He hadn't had as many touches, so he's fairly fresh and he's capable. He's just, he's a little different animal than James. So, he'll get his. I mean, he's young. He'll get his fair share as we go.
When you say a different animal, is James just a different animal to everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, there's not many guys around. I mean, there's guys that are faster and guys that are shiftier. But he's got a unique skill set, and it's hard to duplicate that in practice. And so it plays to our advantage.
Andre, the guys behind James, do they understand the situation?
Well, they understand. I mean, no one. I mean, obviously they would all like to have as many carries, but they see. I mean, they're not dumb, and you know, and sometimes I tell them, I say, look, when you're a junior, I'm not going to take you out to put the freshman in. You know, so they understand. It's a team game. As long as we win, I think they're pretty satisfied. As long as we win, those guys are playing a lot on special teams, and so they get it.
Speaking of special teams, you've gotten a lot of contributions from Aaron Matthews in the coverage game. He's obviously a very athletic kid, but what's his buy-in and the ability to grasp the concepts that are needed to do
Just
that?
slowly and surely. I mean, he's a freshman. You know, those guys very rarely play special teams in high school. They don't get it. They don't understand the importance. They don't understand how it impacts the game. But slowly and surely, he understands. He's a big guy. He's physical, and he's done a real good job.
Moving forward here, Andre, are you anticipating teams, just trying to avoid kicking out to Quadri entirely? Just given how well
Most teams don't do that. Most teams they're too prideful. You know, you send your team a bad message when you say we're not going to kick to them. What are you telling your team? So they're going to work. I mean, what we do is very simple. So I don't see people not kicking. I met the guys from Clemson told me they weren't going to kick to them. I knew they would. And Duke will. Duke's the number one kickoff coverage team in the league, or second kickoff coverage in the ACC. And they're hard to block. They're fast and they're physical. They'll kick to them. And I haven't even considered Syracuse yet, but I know Duke will kick to them.
Is there a hard and fast rule? I mean, if it's over the goal line, he's got to kneel down. I mean,
No, I let him make the decision. So, you know, it's totally up to him. If he catches 1 6 yards deep and rips it out, good for him. But he's smart. He's patient. That's part of being a good return man, being patient. You know, we're playing a team that can cover kicks pretty good, and so I think he made some good decisions. The one he did catch and was able to return. We missed a couple of blocks. Had a chance to have a decent return, but you know, some of those ones 2 yards deep. Had he brought them out, we may have ended up starting on the 15-yard line, and that wouldn't have been smart.
Anything final?